5 light, so we will do this very shortly, and we are go in Barcelona. Pretty good start from Wow. It looked like he got the jump on Julian, and yes, indeed he did. And they're going to be side by side as they head down, and squeezed onto the grass towards the back there is Quenny, but everyone making it through, at least so far, as we can see at the moment. Around the outside goes, looks like Astro Boys there, into turn 1, but everyone through cleanly at the moment. It's certainly nothing like the Tier 2 race. As running wide as Danny. Toto runs wide as well, but everyone at the moment making it through. Danny and Astro Boys side by side as they head into turn number 4.
I mean, I guess it does have a point. I think it's supposed to be
Oh, and spinning on the inside is Wenny, and he was battling with Ocean Chief, and he just lost it on the inside curve in turn 2, and spinning
Prix, you're having a problem with your fellow Dutchman, Julian. Jensen goes to the outside into turn 1. Is there space given? There's a little wheel bumping. The next one is going to be Jensen's turn. They're still side by side. Next one's a left-hander, and Julian is ahead in that. Maybe with a switchback. Jensen on the inside. Massive traction running side by side towards turn 4. Can he outbrake him? He's got his nose ahead, and I don't think there's going to be a counter move from Julian here, so it looks like Jensen's got the better for now, but he's very close. Just about there. Oh, Julian's got his nose in. Oh, not quite, and Tipsy's getting in the way, and Julian's not going to be happy with that, but I think with the new tires, he should be able to maybe do something, but he's sliding. Oh my god, he heavily leaned on Tipsy there. Like, had Tipsy not been there, he would have been off, but on the other hand, Tipsy not been there, unfortunately.
Big scrap for 9th here, sorry. Luigi and Toto. Luigi just, pushing Toto a little bit wide, more contact between the two of them.
Big contact, but didn't do anything. And Luigi's out of trouble now.
Oh, did he hit him? He might well have hit him, and Light Cruiser says thank you very much.
For the price of well, it doesn't matter.
Across the line. Yeah, Wow. Doing the big weave across the line. He wins the race by 1.4 seconds from Julian Jensen. Spins across the line. Hello, hello, hello. Bienvenue à Canada. Here we are for the Canadian Grand Prix in SLR Tier 1. It's Tara and Mr. Timo Brown. How's it going, Timo?
Ça va.
Oui, ça va. Très bien, merci. There we go. I remember that from school. That's just about all of my French, though. That's don't ask me for any more French.
Yeah, you're very bad at languages in general. Hello. We are back for SLR, and I'm wondering, are we in the French-speaking part of Canada or not?
Yep, we are. Montreal is in Quebec. So. Oh, and yeah, I was about to introduce our pit lane reporter for today. It's raining, by the way. Our pit lane. Ah, fantastic, Joel. So yeah, what do you have a weather forecast, or is it?
No, but I will get one.
Ah, fantastic. So yeah, we will wait to hear on that one. We don't know. People are going out on dries by the looks of it.
Yeah, it looks like maybe potentially one-shot qualifying. So like
maybe.
Where the conditions get gradually worse and worse. So basically, the first proper good lap will be, worthwhile. And so who do we have on the grid? We've got Astrin, we've got Bailey, Jensen is driving, Copy. So basically the usual suspects. But Julian is missing, isn't he? Yeah, he is.
Yeah, we don't have Julian. We do have Jensen. And we do have, of course, Copy. So Copy is going to be looking at this race and thinking that maybe he can extend his championship lead. He, at the moment, does lead the championship by a few points from Julian, excuse me. With Julian not racing today, this is a big opportunity for Copy, who's looking, of course, for his second SLR championship. And we're going to see what the situation is with qualifying, because, yeah, so it's raining, and I think the first person to go on a lap here is going to be Bailey, and we're going to keep our eye on Bailey's lap time, because he looks like he's in the best position. It looks like the track is getting slower. And
yellows already. No.
And it might be, as somebody, I guess, spins on their outlap in Sector 3.
I mean, Bailey is always someone you have to count in Canada. He has had his debut race here in SLR 2 seasons ago. And I think he also won his first ever SLR race in Canada as well.
Yep, he did last season, I remember it.
So the forecast is going to stay like this for quali. So it's forecast not to get worse rain. It's just going to stay like this for raindrops. So
Okay.
mixed conditions and race is completely dry.
Okay.
Astro Boys set the fastest sector 1 so far.
Okay, good to know. So Astro is on it. And yeah, interesting about the rain. I don't know whether as across the final chicane goes Bailey Thompson. And yeah, it looks like almost dry weather pace there. A 10.1 from Bailey.
That's like no, that's 2 seconds off his dry pace.
Yeah, but like we're not far away from that. So obviously it's not too wet. Certainly at the moment. Jensen goes across the line. He's a couple of tenths behind. Gary on the mediums
And
does it.
Icewind, wow.
Icewind goes fastest of all on a 1:10.0. What is Astro going to do?
Is Astro going to put it in provisional pole?
Nope.
No, apparently he has not been able to capitalize on that.
Yeah, he was right behind Max Splits. And you have to overtake him.
Yeah, I wondered what happened there because yeah, Max was just in front of him and it looked like he was overtaking into the hairpin. So obviously that is what happened there. So Astro Boy's a bit compromised on that lap. Maybe he can go for another one depending on what the weather does, whether it's going to get any worse at all. It is definitely raining though as Toto goes yeeting across the second chicane.
Astro Boys has got some catching up to doing. He is currently in P8 of the standings, and he started the season off so well. He's won the first race, and after that he's DNF'd and not attended twice each. So no points since round 1. Still in P8 in the standings, but if he wants to get himself back into the fight, that already looks like it might be out of reach for him. He needs to have strong showings every race from now on. To be honest.
As Ocean does not manage to get it slowed down for the final chicane.
Oh wow.
What did we just
We're gonna
see?
see something ridiculous because Astro didn't brake at all for the pit lane entry. Like he almost hit the back of Wayne, who was already in the pit lane.
Oh dear.
But nothing happened.
It's pretty lucky.
Yeah, like that could have been a wheel gone, to be honest.
Yeah. So Bailey's not doing another lap. I guess he stayed out on those soft tires, so he's going to be trailing into the pits now. Danny, by the looks of it, is on an in-lap. He's put his Ferrari P5. We've got Tipsy on an out-lap. We've got Ocean, I guess, on an in-lap. So yes, it's going to be interesting. I don't know if it's getting worse. It certainly is raining, but I don't know if it's... So Joel, when he came on and gave us that info, said that it might be that it is just going to stay at this level for the rest of qualifying, but I don't know whether that's the case, whether it is going to get a little bit worse or what exactly is happening.
My personal prediction would be that things are probably about to get like a little worse. I don't exactly know what data Joel has got on this, but my suspicion would be that he's got like the... Oh, Iceman retires. Okay. My suspicion is that he's got the info from someone who checked the weather forecast and it just shows like little rain droplets everywhere, but normally that means that it'll go to like an intermediate level.
Yeah.
So if that's the case, I expect it to get gradually worse.
Yeah, I think so too. And I wonder if Icewind, I didn't see what happened to him, whether he chose to retire. I imagine he did choose to retire though. And I think the situation for Icewind is that he thinks the weather is getting worse, and so there's no point in carrying on. So we'll see, and Bailey does the same thing. So I think that's what we're going to see. I think we're going to see everyone retiring from this session as the weather gets worse.
Lacros is already 2 seconds down on his lap. He has made quite the mistakes, but still he has... I mean, it's still probably down to the weather. Now he's left this session. Interesting, okay.
I think he was annoyed with Astro trying to overtake him there, so don't know what that was about.
I don't think that made him leave the session, to be honest. The problem with people retiring is the 4 people haven't set a lap time yet, and Max Spills has set one that isn't really competitive, so I expect those to at least do one more run, get themselves on the board. So
Yeah.
something happening here.
Costa has just put his Toro Rosso P11 on a 14.4 as Jensen spins in Sector 1 out of turns 3 and 4. And he's facing the wrong way down the racetrack now, and he's going to have to get that turned around without getting himself disqualified, which isn't going to be all that easy for him to do.
Yeah, lap already abandoned. Yeah, broke himself in turn 1. I think he took a normal braking zone, but there's just no grip. He turned in and nothing really happened, so he had to go straight. And I imagine there's not gonna be improvement in this. I think most will.
Yeah, no, that's the end of qualifying. That's our grid for sure. Certainly the top 10 are the top 10, and they are going to stay as they are at the moment. So it's going to be Icewind on pole with what was effectively a one-shot qualifying lap. Bailey as well, P2. Those guys getting out on track early, and it paid dividends for them on the soft tyre.
Someone in trouble is Copy, who hasn't set a valid lap.
Yeah, very good point, Joel. So Copy, who doesn't have a lap at the moment, and I just wonder if he's going to complete this lap on his soft tyres, just because otherwise he's going to be starting dead last. And if he completes the lap, then he won't necessarily be starting dead last. He'll be starting a few places up the grid.
Oh, Ocean Chief is on the wall on his outlap.
Oh dear, yep, he is. So obviously very treacherous out there. Copy braking for the hairpin now. And he, I think, is going to see if he can get himself, I guess, somewhere near where Toto is at the moment. On a 1 minute 16.2, something like that.
I guess, yeah. Last few runners. Danny? No, Danny's not any quick. So he's heading into the pits, presumably to retire.
Yeah, Copy's not even going to beat Toto. He's going to get himself 2 places up on a 17.1.
Yeah, that's a grid for sure. Nothing happening there.
So Bascodinho Jones, I wonder if he's going to be racing in this one from the back of the grid. So yeah.
That's a fair to leave this session over, isn't it?
Yep, I think it is. I wonder, I mean, Copy might be just driving back to the pit slowly to save his tyres, and then he might retire. Quenny and Astro Boys, of course, in the pit lane. They haven't retired yet, as DRS now is disabled, so that is confirmation that the rain is getting an awful lot worse.
Astro has posted damn selected wrong strategy. I wonder what he means by that. Like, what strategy is there to select on quali?
Maybe he wanted to go out on mediums. I don't know.
But I doubt he would because of the rain. Like.
Yeah, I doubt it too. Don't really know as Copy retires. So we're just waiting for Hueni and Astro Boys now to hit the retire button. I'm sure they will at some point in the fairly near future. There goes Hueni.
Is Astro Boys going to be the awkward one?
Yeah, I think we're gonna. I think we should. There should be a league directive to Astro Boys to hit that retire button. He must realise at some point that he's the only one left in the session, and there he goes. And that is our qualifying session. So we started a little bit late in SLR, but that's made up for by the fact that we had a shortened qualifying session. And there is your grid: Icewind on pole, and Bailey Thompson second on the grid. Neither Icewind nor Bailey particularly high up in the championships. This is a very good opportunity for them to get some very good points. Pretorius, who is doing well in the championship, is third, and Jensen, who's also doing well in the championship, fourth in this qualifying session. Then a little bit of a gap to Danny, and then Hueni in P5 and P6, and then a little bit of a gap to Gary and Astro Boys. Gary on the mediums, we should note. So maybe he can one-stop medium to hard. We'll have to wait and see.
Apparently there's some controversy around the incident involving Astro Boys and Max Speltz in qualifying, because so apparently Max Speltz felt that Astro slowed down so much that he had to overtake him right before his hot lap, and then they basically Astro chased Max Speltz through his hot lap, and Astro was quite a bit quicker. So yeah, and of course Max being on a hot lap, he's not gonna abandon that run to let Astro through. He's gonna try and be as quick as possible. So Astro had to legit overtake him. That cost him the precious time, and he's not gonna be happy about it, or rather, he's definitely not happy about that, as evident in chat.
Well, it's one of those things, isn't it? In the qualifying session, sometimes If you try and leave a little bit too much of a gap, you get impatient people behind you trying to overtake before the lap. That's the way it is.
Pascadinho's been put in the Ferrari by the game.
Oh, okay. Yeah, he certainly has. So he's going to be joining us, I think, for this race from the back of the grid.
Worth a mention is the fact that Bailey, of course, you mentioned him not being that high in the standings. He's actually not. I mean, he's a reserve driver now, so this is a one-off performance from him. So, like, he's not even really driving for self-interest in the standings. He is just trying to have a good race, while everyone else is trying to play a catch-up game with the likes of Copy and Julian. Copy qualified in P13. Julian is not on the grid for this one, so yeah. So they are not. I mean, Copy might score points, but he's basically on his back foot. And,
Yeah, he certainly is. He's going to be starting on the mediums, which may help him out, but certainly that's not where he's going to want to have started this race. 13 on the grid in the Williams.
It's quite overcast, isn't it? I don't know if we're going to get some light rain towards the end, maybe.
Well, if it's cloudy in the forecast, then it's certainly possible that we do see some rain. So we'll keep that in mind. We did say that it was going to be a dry race, and it might still be a dry race, but might get a surprise or two towards the end. Who knows?
Like in Tier 2. the newly crowned Thunderdome of SLR. It has been an eventful race.
There was.
If you didn't watch that, check it out.
There was
But
certainly
at your
some
own risk.
yeeting going on in Tier 2,
Yeah.
as evidenced by the long list of incidents that the FIA has to deal with. And speaking of incidents, Hueni in the wall gets himself disqualified.
No. So his tires are going to be stone cold for the start of the race, and
Yeah.
that is usually not an advantage, quite the opposite. So
As Julian joins us in chat. Sad you can't race today, Julian. And yeah, Copy down the grid, so we'll have to wait and see what he can do from P13. We know what a good driver he is, and he'll be doing everything he can to get himself up the grid as fast as possible. Here are the cars lining up on the grid. Then we got 16 starters for this Canadian Grand Prix, and here we go. In Montreal, we have 4 lights, we have 5 lights, and it is go! And a pretty good start by the looks of it from Icewind. It looks like he got the jump on Bailey. Bailey has to defend from Pretorius. A little bit of contact between the two of them as they head into turn 1. And everyone at the moment getting through safely. Lots of room being given there. Hueni and Astro Boy side by side, 3 wide behind them, with Gary in the middle of a sandwich. Light Cruiser and Costa both right on him as across the chicane goes Hueni. And side by side go again Light Cruiser and Gary. And just breaking a little bit late there is Costa, but did manage to get it stopped without losing his front wing. So everyone at the moment making it through safely by the looks of things. We've got Ocean Chief at the back, and he's still on the back of the pack. Side by side almost into the right-left chicane were Danny and Pretorius for P4 and P5. But certainly at the moment it looks like everyone got through safe.
into the hairpin. I think we're going to see a duel between Costa and Gary. Maybe Total trying to get involved. Copy is patiently lurking behind the 3 of them, and they almost make a 3 wide out the hairpin here. So Copy hasn't absolutely sliced through the field yet. Not enough room basically. And yeah, gotta give him credit. But now we're running side by side towards the hairpin between Costa and Gary. That was a nice move, and Costa, I think, has pulled it off. Was that a wing flying or?
Yeah, somebody lost their front wing. I didn't see who it was.
So it's the Ferrari of Danny Co.
Is it Danny? Is that right?
I don't
Maybe.
know.
I don't.
I mean, it looked red. So I think
Yeah,
it's
I
on
don't know.
ice with Danny.
I can't see any damage on Danny. Danny's all over the back of Jensen as he gets a big moment there into the chicane. He's not all over the back of Jensen anymore. In fact, he's got Pretorius all over the back of him, and Hueni as well, sniffing just behind that Ferrari and Mercedes. And Danny there with a pretty costly mistake. He was all over the back of Jensen, and then suddenly he wasn't. As we have Gary, Costa and Toto all battling. 3 seconds for Danny. Yeah, he got one, I'm sure, he got a warning, that is, I'm sure, for that moment earlier on, and he's got himself a 3-second penalty already on lap 2.
You're going to want to watch Bailey down this back straight on Icewind. He's very close.
Bailey is fairly close. I don't think he's quite close enough to make a move, though.
They didn't get a good run out of the hairpin.
Yeah, no, a little bit closer is Hueni on Pretorius. I'm going to keep an eye on that as they head down towards the hairpin, or chicane, excuse me, and the Wall of Champions at the end of the second lap of this race. Fastest lap of the race goes to Icewind as Light Cruiser pits. Maybe that's whose front wing it was that we saw bouncing on the front straight.
Does the McLaren have like a red
Toto down the inside of Costa, trying to hold the move around the outside is Toto. He's going to have to defend that as they're coming down into turn 4 now. And Toto gets it wrong on the grass. There's a Vettel. He gets ahead. I don't know if that's going to be an illegal overtake, but we'll have to see whether he gives that back. Now, Copy.
Yeah, we
right
will have
on
to
the
wait
back
and
of
see.
Costa,
Copy
trying
up
to
the
go down.
inside, and Copy is going to get that move done. Nicely done from Copy. Oh, bit of contact between the two of them as they exited the chicane there, and Copy does manage to keep his nose ahead. Tipsy as well having a sniff behind Costa. Lots of action in these opening 3 laps. No real incident though, other than Light Cruiser, I guess, picking up some damage and being forced to pit at the end of lap 2. So Light Cruiser's race is pretty badly compromised. But further up, we got Jensen right on the back now of Bailey. He's going to have a look up the inside into the chicane, but he's going to think better of it as they go through there. Yeah, it is. It is strictly single file into the chicane most of the time, unless. Yeah, it is. I guess Jensen got. Did he make a mistake there into the chicane? Danny all over the back of him in that Ferrari. So Danny's obviously got very good pace in that Ferrari, and he's showing it certainly in these opening 4 laps.
Toto's made a move on Gary into turn 1. And it's kind of weird, like when I get these helicopter shots, the track looks kind of reflective, like as if it was wet, but it's not. But I can just feel that the weather is like might be unstable here, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know either. It's very possible. We'll have to wait and see as through goes the lead train, and certainly Icewind not been able to make a break so far. He's right on the edge of pulling out a second on Bailey, but at the moment nothing doing as Jensen, I think, did he go into the back of Bailey there? It looked like he might have done into the hairpin, and certainly now he's got Danny all over the back of him. Danny in rich fuel mix in overtake ERS, but he's not making up any ground on Jensen at the moment, and he decides to save some of that battery for a rainy day as they come through to complete lap 4. And now Icewind does have that second over Bailey, so it might be that Icewind is able to make a break here, and if he does, then what a good position he's in to maybe win this race.
Especially because he's also got the 3 seconds on Bailey, as Bailey has already picked up a penalty, I think.
No, it was Danny that picked up the penalty.
Oh,
so
Danny?
I'm pretty sure.
Another one?
Yeah.
No, it was Bailey.
Was it Bailey?
It was Bailey. It was Bailey.
Danny
Oh,
has
okay.
one as well.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't see Bailey's penalty in that case. So, all right, Bailey's got a penalty then. That is big news. And yeah, now he's a second and a half behind as well. So he's these lead 6, all very close to each other. Pretorius very close to the back of Danny, but it's all sort of ebbing and flowing between certainly these 5 at the moment.
Danny hit the wall there out of that chicane.
Okay, didn't see any front wing flying, but yeah, good to know that he's certainly pushing hard and taking a few risks at the moment, is Danny. And just to give you a sense of how the pack behind is doing, we've got Toto leading a little pack of 3 or 4 cars, all of which are on mediums, as Bailey pits. So did Bailey, is that tyres? Did Bailey,
I think it is tires.
I think it probably is as well, yeah.
To get himself back into the TRS range of Icewind.
Yeah, I guess so.
He didn't get his wing changed.
Very early though, lap 5, end of lap 5 to get onto those medium tyres for Bailey Thompson.
He's gonna come out in fresh air, isn't he? Ah, right behind Max Speltz.
Oh
That
dear.
is not good. As soon as he's past Max, he'll have a little bit of fresh air. And does he already try it now? Yes, he does. So he's basically he's got 2.5 seconds of fresh air now, and in that time he might get closer and closer to Icewind.
Yeah, sensible from Max, who saw him coming and decided to leave plenty of room on the inside of turn 3 there. It's into the hairpin once again. 2nd, 3rd, 4th and 5th as Toto. What happened to Astro Boys? Something must have happened to Astro Boys, because those two were nowhere near each other.
Yeah.
Toto and Astro.
Astro was originally in like the big space you could see on the track map between
Yeah.
Winnie and Toto. Like he was right in the middle there, and now he's behind Toto, so something has happened. And Danico is absolutely oh, someone hit the wall very badly, and that's Toto. And he's facing the wrong way. Everyone has to avoid him. Everyone managed to avoid him as well, but that's probably because he got ghosted. Now he's going over track here, and he's disqualified for going the wrong way out as he tries to enter the pit lane.
Yeah, you can't do that, Toto, I'm afraid. That's always going to be a disqualification. So we got our first retirement of the race so far. Is there going to be a safety car? And if that's the case, if there is a safety car, that's very bad news for Bailey Thompson, but no safety car as of yet.
I don't know. I don't think disqualifications give you safety cars.
Maybe not. I don't know. It's one of those weird things, because normal retirements sometimes can, but maybe disqualifications are slightly different. We got a big queue on the back of Astro Boys now. Is really struggling, I think, on those soft tires.
Into the hairpin. Gary goes kind of wide. Gary is on mediums. He's doing very well.
Yeah, he certainly is. He's got Copy behind him now as well.
They're running side by side, and I think Copy might just take it off. In Season 2, they were fighting for the championship. Here, Copy is the clear championship leader. And the penalty for Jensen. And Astro Boys goes into the pits, and he's actually, he's lacking right end plate. So
Okay.
Astro definitely had some damage. So whatever caused him to fall into the clutches of the Toto train, I'm sure it cost him a part of his front wing. Now, looking at the situation up front, I think Jensen has hit like 7 tenths since Bailey got himself out of that fight.
Yeah, it looks like it, doesn't it?
Took a dive on Garriok, and yeah, they made some contact, but he hasn't got any damage.
Oh, and Ocean Chief defending from Bailey. Bailey not having it all his own way there, and having to back out of that one in the chicane. So Bailey having all sorts of issues. Bailey has damage as well, so he's missing a left front end plate. So Bailey's day going wrong with that early pit stop by the looks of things, and far from making up ground on Icewind. It looks like he's losing ground at the moment to the other people that were in that little battle group, which is to say Jensen, Danny and Pretorius. Danny again having a look at the back of Jensen, and everyone in that battle group except for Pretorius pits, as into the pit lane go Icewind, Jensen and Danny. So Pretorius assumes the lead of the race. Gary will take second place with Copy and Costa, who's also having a very good race in that Toro Rosso, just a little bit behind. Danny, I guess, had a penalty?
Yeah, I don't know, he was serving a 5 seconds there, so I don't know.
Yeah, it looked like it. I didn't
I'll have a look.
I didn't realize that he had a 5 second, but I'm not sure I'm getting notifications, by the way, of penalties.
I'm being told, or whether it's in chat, that apparently Toto, or Jesse and Toto claim that the reason for Toto's crash was like...
Yeah, his DRS was stuck open, which is...
That's weird, I've never heard of that. And Copy goes...
It is something that can happen. We got a huge gaggle here where everyone has come out of the pit lane. Jensen on the back of Ocean Chief. Ocean Chief having to go to the outside. Jensen down the inside into the chicane, and battling behind them as well are Hueni and Basco Dino.
Ooh, Hueni goes right down the middle of the two.
Yeah, he certainly did. Bailey managing to...
Copy's getting Gary on the main straight here. They make a little
bit
of
of
contact on...
In fact, it was Jensen that passed Bailey, wasn't it? As as you mentioned, Copy and Gary into the chicane. Copy will have DRS for the second time as well, as Pretorius pits from what was the lead, and the gaggle going down the main straight. So Jensen got ahead of Bailey there somehow. I didn't see exactly how.
Did you see the penalty notification right now?
No, I didn't. No, I'm not getting penalty notifications. So I need you.
Pretorius is going to jump Danny and Hueni.
As Pretorius does manage to jump Hueni and Bailey. So yeah, you'll need to keep me up to date with penalty notifications, because we're not getting those on stream at the moment, and we'll keep an ear out for what Timo says about penalties, because we'll need to keep track of those at some point. But in terms of the race overall now, Copy leads the race, Gary second, Costa third.
Look at this, Icewind has now got a 3-second gap to Jensen.
Yep, he certainly has. Oh, as Bailey and Bascodino again fighting for 9th and 10th. Bailey down the inside in that racing point. Bascodino having to defend around the outside on those very old soft tyres, and it looks like he has managed to defend at the moment. Bailey must be really struggling with the damage that he's got, because he's really losing a lot of ground to the people around him at the moment. Icewind on the back of Tipsy. Looks like he's going to get this move done easily enough down the main straight into turn 1.
Danny with another 3 seconds.
Yeah. So he's at 9 already after 11 laps. Staying on track doesn't seem to be one of those
Bailey, Bascadinho. Bailey down the inside. I would say he's moved, but he's got no end plate, so it's not so easy. But he's holding on okay at the moment, but he's losing a lot of time.
Yeah, he certainly is. So Copy still leads from Gary. Gary just about hanging in Copy's DRS at the moment as he cuts the chicane a little bit there. The right-left. So Gary really trying to stay in the DRS of those two. Danny and Bascodino fighting now as well, the two Ferraris, as Danny manages to get that done easily enough down the inside. But of course, Danny with all of those penalties. And Astro Boy's up the inside of Max Splits as well into that same corner. So it's brightened up as well.
I've seen that one before. Oh, Max!
Oh, Max almost ran into the back of him, didn't he? Almost did. So the situation at the moment, if we can make sense of it at the moment, we think that Icewind is in the net lead. Although Icewind will have to stop twice more, but he will have once more, excuse me, but he will have better tyres.
Bailey is out! What happened? I don't know. Was it like...
It's at the chicane. I'm trying to look. We have a safety car, safety car, safety car. So entry to pit lane, and yeah, he's right in the middle of the track. A wheel. Yeah, I don't know what happened there. But we have a safety car, and that will neutralize the race. So now, this becomes a slightly different story. Now Copy, this is an absolute gift for Copy, who is going to be able to pit and put the hard tyres on and probably go to the end of the race. And everyone else around him will also be going to the end of the race by putting hard tyres on. So Copy, I think, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I think Copy is now in the net lead of the race.
He might be. I mean, that must have been an absolute big incident. Like, who was Bailey around? Like, I don't know.
He was fighting with... who was he fighting with? Was it... I don't remember. Was it like... I think he was around where Danny is at the moment. Maybe a little bit behind there. I'm actually not sure.
Yeah, I'm not either.
As we see everyone... I'm sure everyone is going to pit. Icewind does not pit.
It was Bascadinho.
Oh, it's Bascodino, okay.
He's got no front right end plate. He had to come to pits after that. He's put on fresh hards, but he didn't get his wing changed.
Okay, so maybe they got together. Copy puts mediums on, which is really interesting. I would have thought hards would be the choice, but maybe he doesn't think he can go to the end of the race on the hards. Gary decides to go on the hards. This is really interesting. So strategy calls now, of course, extremely important. Tipsy, I think, had to double stat behind Gary. Astro Boys puts mediums on as well. Oh no, Astro Boys stayed out, excuse me, so he's on 5-lap-old mediums, but the leaders all on several lap-old mediums as well. Icewind from Jensen, from Pretorius, from Hueni, and Danny in P5. So those guys are all on old tyres. Copy is on fresh mediums. Gary's on fresh hards. And then Astro Boys on old tyres. Costa on fresh mediums. Tipsy on fresh hards.
I am getting... Oh, wait, am I mute? Oh no, it wasn't okay. I'm currently watching a replay of Toto, who has uploaded his crash, and what was that? It looks like his DRS was actually broken.
Oh dear.
It's weird.
That's pretty unfortunate. It's not a good way for Toto's race to end. So, how many laps are we going to have here? We're going to have probably 21 laps to the end of the race. The question is, can the hards go 21 laps? I suspect they can.
Yeah, they can. I'm pretty sure they can.
The question is that faster than going 2 stints of mediums?
I think it should be. So, my takeaway from this is very weird because Toto didn't even open the front wing. He was first in the queue, so he didn't have DRS. But like he drives and then he takes the chicane as one normally would, and his car just gets slidey, like it snaps, and then he crashes out. And as soon as you see the damage replay, you can see that the damage status of his rear wing is orange. So I've never seen that.
That is certainly the case then. So yeah, I guess his rear wing was stuck open, which is really unfortunate.
How can it stuck open when it's not opened? But yeah, F1 game new to you. Okay. Fair enough. So checking back into the race. And
yeah, what Bailey said about that collision, he said, I was hugging the wall to let McLaren go, but apparently the wall goes in and sticks out a metre further, so I got bitten.
Oh dear. Okay.
sounds like a night hunter
I
accident.
think that's the outside of the chicane. It's a bit
Yeah, that makes sense, because yeah, there's a little opening there on the left, isn't there? That
Yeah,
so you might have just caught that, which is pretty unfortunate. Is the safety car in this lap? I guess I'm not going to know whether the safety car's in this lap.
It is.
Oh, it is. Okay, that's good to know. All right, so Icewind is going to go at any point now, pretty much. There he goes, just before the chicane, so trying to get the jump on everyone, and he did get the jump on everyone by the looks of things. He's got a little bit of a gap between himself and Jensen as they cross the line to start lap 15. We're racing again in Canada. And someone to watch here, I think, will be Copy, who has a pretty significant tyre advantage on the drivers in front of him. And is, I think, going to be looking...
Max Bulls and Max Cruiser for P11, that is.
Yeah, Max on the soft tyres, being overtaken by Light Cruiser on the hard tyres, which is impressive. So Light Cruiser doing everything he can. I guess, I mean, he's the only McLaren in the race, so it must have been him that Bailey was talking about.
Yeah, for sure. Up front, I'll check the penalty situation.
Oh yeah, please do check the penalty situation if you can. I'll give you a full rundown of that for everyone watching on stream. Danny did manage to get it stopped in the hairpin before he ran into the back of Hueni, thankfully for him. Now,
so, one for Icewind, Jensen, Hueni, and Gary, and none for Pretorius and Copy. But Pretorius has 2 warnings, and Copy is without a single warning so far.
Okay,
and
so
Danny has got multiple, I think 3.
Okay, so Copy, as per usual in these races, keeping it completely clean so far. He is in a very good position, having fought his way up from, 13th on the grid. He's on fresher tyres than everyone. Danny is very interested in the back of that Red Bull in front of him. Meanwhile, up front, Icewind's gap that he had to Jensen has been neutralised, of course, by that safety car. And now the gap is only half a second between the two of them. Pretorius as well, keeping a watching brief, and he doesn't have a penalty, does Pretorius, so he is at the moment in the net lead of the race, depending on what happens as Danny gets very sideways out of the chicane.
Tipsy has the straight line here as Light Cruiser takes the position. Max Bulls has been overtaken by the next guy. It's been Bascadini, but I think he might counter into the hairpin. Let's hope everything goes well. Bascadini going defensive. Very late braking from Max Bulls. They're running side by side. A little bit of contact, wheel bumping only though. He doesn't make his way past, and Ocean Chief actually looks very interested in being the next one who overtakes Max on the inferior tire compound when he gets a penalty. And Ocean Chief actually makes a move into or before the Wall of Champions chicane. Light Cruiser gets a penalty.
Okay, so we've got Hueni. I guess that's 6 seconds of penalties now for Hueni, who is desperately trying to keep Danny behind him at the moment. So
Icewind with another one.
Oh no, so Icewind up to 6 seconds, so that means that his race now is, well, it was looking very good for him earlier on. It's still looking pretty good, but he's certainly got work to do now, because he, at the moment, as things stand, he'll need to pull out a gap on those behind him if he's going to get some major points in this race. I wonder if he got a warning for that as well. It looked like he cut the left-hander there of the chicane. Danny and Hueni lost out big time there. Yeah, he lost to Copy as well. So didn't it? Oh yeah, Hueni has damage. Hueni has damage on the right side of his front wing.
That was unfortunate. Tipsy got passed by Basket-Innes, he's dropped down to P12, and Pretorius gets himself a penalty. He's currently running in P3 and he was in 2 warnings, and that was just a thing we're waiting to see happen. Or like, yeah, it was pretty inevitable. And another one for Basket-Innes, and I think one for Gary as well. They are just flying in right now.
Yep, absolutely. So if I'm keeping track of this properly, so Copy still has none, of course. So I think at the moment Jensen is in the net lead of the race with 3 seconds of penalties, but only barely from Copy. Copy is certainly knocking on the door of the net lead of the race right now, albeit only in 5th on track, but he doesn't have any penalties at all, and everyone ahead of him does. So Copy doing his thing, keeping it nice and clean in that Williams, and certainly paying off for him at the moment. Jensen now on the back of Icewind. I wonder if we're going to see a move here between the 2 leaders. Jensen maybe not quite close enough. He's going to have a look up the inside into the chicane, but nothing doing.
From Copy on the inside of Danny though, he gets that jump before the chicane and pulls back.
Yep, nicely done from Copy.
Limping Quinny, and I think when he heads into the pits as he does, he's going to get a new front wing and new tires with which he will make it to the end of the race.
In fact, he retires. So Quinny out of the race, unfortunately for him. It was, we didn't see the incident between him and Danny, but I'm sure it will become apparent what happened between those two as he leaves the session.
Yeah, Jensen is just, he's told me that like he hates Canada because he gets penalties and penalties and penalties, and he also, like, he didn't practice a lot for this. Told him that top 6 would be a success, and now he's actually looking like he can challenge for the win, but he's actually got Copy probably as one of the biggest threats to his challenge for victory right now, because he is within 3 seconds of him. Jensen's got penalties, and Copy doesn't look like he intends to get a single warning, so he's gonna be dangerous, and if Jensen wants to win this, he'll have to get away from Icewind as soon as possible. And there's a penalty for Jensen, and almost loses the car.
Yeah, he certainly does. And
Pretorius is going to get him here on the outside into turn 1. The Mercedes versus the Haas inside line for Jensen. Now it swaps the other way around. The next one is a left-hander, and Pretorius got the position. Jensen made a big mistake there, got the penalty, and also was slapped with the loss of control and losing enough time to get Pretorius out of himself. So now Copy is definitely about to be ahead of him on a penalty countback.
Yeah, I mean, Copy's in the lead of the race now, right? I'm pretty sure.
I think he is, yeah.
In that Williams P4 on the track, but no penalties, and everyone ahead of him does. So Copy in the net lead of this race.
Astro looking to get past Garriock. He does that nicely before the chicane.
Yep,
now
nicely
Costa
done. Oh.
As well.
Certainly is. Costa in that Toro Rosso having a good look at Gary down the inside into the hairpin.
Oh, Costa! Sending it, and he's locking up a little, but it looks like a tie. Yeah, it looks like he's made that stick. And it was
might get Astro here as well.
Panic, yeah. He's getting himself in the slipstream. Astro's tires are 5 laps older. Maybe Costa can do something about it, but he's already in 0 ERS, so it doesn't look like he's trying it. Astro gets a massive lag spike. That scares Costa off the track, I think, so he's off. Astro keeps his position, and Gary will be able to counter on Costa because Astro's scared, and that is unfortunate. Now Costa goes fairly deep into that corner. He doesn't want to concede the position. They're still running side by side through the first sector. Now Costa gets the traction down, so he conserves P7. Funny how little lag from Astro gave Costa so much more trouble than it did give Astro trouble.
Yep, absolutely. So Astro managing to keep his position. He went very deep there though, and into the back of him goes Costa, and again by the looks of it, didn't see if there was any damage there.
And what are they going to do here? Gary's on the inside, he's attacking Costa. Costa is scared off the track, and now Lactus actually wants to get in there in the McLaren. Look at the orange car, it's gonna get into the hairpin as Costa's line was a little wide there, so he punted Lactus a little bit. I don't think there was any damage, but that ended Lactus's run on him. And now on the main straight, are we going to get some funny action? Astro is probably safe, so is Gary, and but Costa's everything. Oh, never mind. He's safe because likely he doesn't fancy trying. Astro gets a penalty for cutting the track there in the hairpin. I don't know how many he's got already with that one.
Yep, I don't know either, I'm afraid. I imagine it's not his first though.
Oh, it actually is.
Oh, it was his first. Okay, fair enough. So Astro actually having a pretty good race in P6 at the moment, albeit nearly 10 seconds off the back of Danny's Ferrari.
Penalty for Gary.
Yeah, that must have been through the chicane there. There's a big queue of cars now behind Astro Boys as well. We've got...
Yeah, I'm trying to look at Astro. I don't think it is.
Okay.
It's those 14 lap old mediums.
Yeah, no, they're going to be struggling at this point as across the chicane goes Costa. Certainly will have got a warning for that in that Toro Rosso. And we've still got 13 laps to go here, and this as Costa again going into the back of the car in front of him, not for the first time this afternoon, and gives Light Cruiser that position. So Light Cruiser making his way through the little gaggle that was just in front of him. And is he going to be able to get Gary here as well? He might well do. As they head into the chicane, he decides not to this time by, but he needs to run out as Astro Boys almost loses it.
With Masses almost in, we're looking at 3 cars going 3 wide into the turn 1. And Astro gets squeezed there. Oh no! And he's spun round, and now he has to recover back on track. I hope he keeps going. But he's down all the way into the back, and Jensen gets another penalty, so it's spiraling downhill for him. He's quite overwhelmed. What was going on there was hard to call.
Yeah, absolutely. So the situation as far as we know up front, Copy with no penalties at all. Pretorius has 3 seconds. Icewind has 9 or 6. No, Icewind has 6 and Jensen has 6 as well. Or does Jensen have 9? Jensen has 9. Oh dear.
Jensen 9, Icewind 6.
Okay, good to know. So at the moment we think the standings are Copy leading, Pretorius second, Icewind third. Where is Danny? Danny's got more than 9, right?
I didn't see one for him in quite the time.
He's got 12, okay.
He does have 12. Yeah.
Jensen in pits.
Also in 2 penalties. So things are not going that great for Danny, are they?
Nope, they're certainly not at the moment. I mean, he's still going to finish in the top 5 by the looks of things, as Jensen does pit, and Jensen serving a penalty there, was he?
Yeah.
Looked like he was serving a penalty. Yeah, I didn't see exactly why.
Maybe under safety car? Maybe there was some silly stuff going on there that we
possibly.
Joel and I can tell. Oh no, Jensen is out! He's in the pit wall and exit! Mate, I died in the fucking pit, mate. Oh, sorry.
That's Timo getting a little bit excited. That's fair enough.
I wanted to make a meme. It was very funny because he's a Haas driver as well. But like,
I see.
He's straight lined into the wall.
Oh no.
Exited the pit.
Yeah, it's horrible understeer. So Jensen out of the race, he retires, and that's the end of Jensen's race. It's the first time this season he's not finished on the podium in SLR Tier 1. As
I wanted to Icewind with another penalty.
Icewind's up to 9 seconds now. So Pretorius at the moment right on the back of Icewind. That's not a real battle on track, of course. Copy and Danico running in formation as well behind, and Copy at the moment, I mean, he's leading the championship, and we said this was such a good opportunity for him with Julian not racing. And from 13th on the grid, it looks like Copy is in the best position of anyone here.
Yeah, what a horrible way to throw the race away. He'll probably hope no one of us saw, but I did. That is quite... Yeah, I must feel horrible. Did Iceland hit the wall there? Because
Ocean's trying to go around the outside of turn 5, I think it is. He's trying to go around the outside now of Costa. He gets that move done, but that was very close.
So Pretorius made a move for the lead on Iceland because Iceland's gone very deep into the chicane, and he scrapped the wall there. I think that's why I asked whether he got damaged, but he certainly... I don't think he got damaged, but he got a very bad run, and that Pretorius used that to his advantage and is now leading the Grand Prix. So he's trying to get away from Copy as soon as he can.
As Danny pits from 4th on those old medium tyres. So, yeah, I mean, Copy is just in such a good position at this point.
Yeah, Pretorius is 1 penalty up on Copy and 2 warnings. Well, I don't know how many warnings Copy's got, but Pretorius is sitting on 1 penalty and 2 warnings. He's on very thin ice. He can't really afford to push it. How does Copy not have a single warning? He's
No
up
warnings
26.
for Copy.
It's insane.
That is very impressive. We know Copy is capable of this. We've seen him do this in the past. As Danny comes out on soft tyres now in that Ferrari.
Team orders here.
Yep, there might well be. Bascodino might be getting the Danny is faster than you prompt from his crew chief at some point. Maybe here is where Danny's going to go past with the DRS. It looks like it. So he is going to be up to 6th on the road once he's made this move.
Just to note, they aren't actually officially teammates. Bascodino was supposed to be in McLaren.
Yeah, no, he's he's in the McLaren, yeah, of course. So Basco being put in the Ferrari, having missed qualifying.
Pretorius 3 seconds.
As Icewind pits, another 3 seconds for Pretorius, so he's now 6 seconds behind Copy in terms of penalties. A second and a half ahead on track as Icewind makes his pit stop from what was second place on track. We know he's got 9 seconds of penalties, of course, but with Jensen out of the way, Icewind is on course for a very good result here. He is, I guess he's 3 seconds in terms of penalties ahead of Danny, who is right there with him, but Icewind does manage to stay ahead at least for the time being. With 9 laps to go in this race, and well, I don't think it's going to be a nail-biter in terms of the win, but there's certainly plenty to sort out. We've got the 1-stoppers, of course, just ahead of Icewind and Danny now. Gary and Light Cruiser. Light Cruiser being overtaken there by Icewind. Gary struggling so much into the chicane. Had to cut it pretty much all the way there, and Danny now right on the back of that Renault as well. Down the inside on those fresh tyres into the hairpin. And he gets that done very easily indeed. As Pretorius pits from the lead. He also is going to put soft tyres on. Icewind now on Light Cruiser for P3 on the road. It'll shortly be P2, I think, because I think he's probably going to be ahead of Pretorius. Although maybe not. They were pretty much together, weren't they, when they before they came into the pits?
Looks like it's going to be really close.
Yep, I think it is as well. Oh, it's bad news for Pretorius and very good news for Icewind, who has made a break. And Pretorius really struggling. He had the door slammed shut there by Danny into the chicane. No contact though.
Icewind is going to be gaining a lot of time on Copy.
Yeah, he's certainly not going to be gaining enough though, because he has, 12 seconds or 9 seconds of penalties to try and make up. Copy will be pitting probably this lap, and he'll come out probably a couple of seconds behind Icewind, maybe somewhere around where Danny and Pretorius are at the moment, because these guys have been slowed down by the traffic that they had to get through, and Copy does indeed pit from the lead of the race. So with 7 laps to go, all Copy has to do is bring it home, and he is going to... Yep, he really has. As Pretorius following Danny through the chicane. Copy coming out of the pit lane now. Where is he going to come out? That is the question.
Right behind Gary. Alongside Light Cruiser.
Oh, he just about kept it on track there, did Copy. He almost did a Jensen.
Yeah, he is going to send it though, isn't he? No, he's not. You can see the difference between him and Bailey, because Bailey totally went for that move early in the race.
And I have a strong feeling that might have been Copy's first warning as well in the chicane there. He's having to almost push Light Cruiser all the way through.
Yeah, it's holding up.
It was not a warning, by the way.
It was not a warning, wow. So
Yellow flags.
Copy playing it pretty much perfectly. Copy around the outside into the chicane. That was very patient from Copy. He lost a few seconds doing that, but that shouldn't matter. Don't know who the yellow.
He can afford to give up a little time just for safety.
Yep, he certainly can. The yellows, by the way, look like they were for Bascodino, who on those very old mediums looked like he spun.
Pretorius on Danny into the chicane.
Yep.
On the inside. another 3 seconds for Icewind.
But actually, Copy is 3.8 seconds off of Danny, and Danny is half a second off of Pretorius. So that means Copy, with only 1 penalty less, has actually got some work to do if he wants to finish out of Pretorius. Oh, never mind.
Pretorius has got 6 seconds, so yeah,
he's
Copy's...
already got 2 more warnings. Like, he always gets a penalty and then 2 warnings instantly.
Yeah, it's easy to do. It's easy to think when you just get a penalty, you're like, oh well, now I've got 2 warnings that are free, and then you just use them.
Yeah, that totally didn't happen to me in Tier 2. It came back to bite me though. Could have been on the podium. I wasn't on the podium.
Oh dear. So Icewind on track leads by 1.3 seconds, but we know what the penalty situation is, and it's not a good situation for Icewind. With 5 laps to go, he's going to try and get as much of a gap as he can over the cars behind him, but Copy certainly isn't going to be going anywhere. We know how fast he is, and he's on brand new soft tyres to get to the end of the race on. So all Copy has to do, as we mentioned earlier, is just bring it home, not get himself any penalties, and he is going to win this race. Yeah, that safety car that was brought out after Bailey's incident pretty much changed the complexion of this race. Copy was already having a good race at that point, but that really put the exclamation point on it for Copy, because that was his chance to pit without losing time to the cars around him, and he certainly took that chance.
Yeah, just because I saw that comment been made in chat there. We all remember the Astro bug from Mexico, I think. But I'm very sure that Copy didn't get it. So far I've seen that bug like a few times, but every time it happens, the person left the session and then rejoined, and Copy didn't do that.
Yeah.
So I'm very certain that this is actually just him having a very clean race.
Yeah, I mean,
distant relationships with track limits.
Yeah, it would. I mean, we know Copy's done this in the past when other people have gotten penalties and Copy hasn't gotten penalties. He certainly doesn't take many risks at all with track limits, and certainly here it's going to pay off in a big way for him. Light Cruiser and Gary continuing their race-long battle pretty much. Light Cruiser up the inside into turn 1. Gary holding the position for the time being though. Both on very old hard tyres. Pretorius has caught up to the back of Icewind as well, so we might see a pass on track for the lead here. With
I need you to bet. Will Ocean Chief get a point?
I think so, yeah. I think so. Oh, he's got some penalties.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I don't know what the penalty situation is. I would have thought that he would have less penalties than those around him, but maybe he doesn't on this occasion.
Astro has got 2, Ocean Chief's got 3. So if they were to finish like that, he would get a point.
Okay, well, we'll have to wait and see.
Costa
on Basco.
Got Bascadinho though.
Yep, up the inside. So Costa on those fresh soft tyres, trying to make hay while the tyres are good. Icewind still leads with 3 laps to go. But the gap back to Copy is only 5 seconds, and that is not going to be enough for either Icewind or Pretorius. Pretorius, he's got 6 seconds of penalties, right? Or he's got 9 now. I don't remember.
I think he's got 6, and he's just got 9.
Oh, okay.
Like after you mentioned that. Yeah, Costa actually has got 5 penalties, so I think Ocean Chief might get a point.
Yep.
Or will get a point here.
I think he is going to get his point. Who's got the fastest lap at the moment? It's Icewind who is in the lead of this race, and he's got the fastest lap as well. But he's not going to finish first because Copy is still there and is still not making any mistakes. Astro Boys up the inside of Bascodinho into where is that? That's like turn 4 and 5.
Gets it done before the chicane, so Pretorius into
Oh, well spotted. Oh,
that's 5 now.
Icewind almost lost his car there as well. It was very scary. He did hang on to it.
Danny on penalties now.
Oh dear.
Light Cruiser up the inside of Gary into the chicane.
Yep, he does manage to get that done. Oh, those two really struggling with those tyres. 20-lap-old hards are not very much fun around Canada, it turns out.
Another driver's only got 1 penalty, is Tipsy. Like, it's genuinely impressive, but the problem is he's 12 seconds off of anyone, so it won't matter.
Yeah, it probably won't matter. I don't think anyone ahead of him has more than 12. So
I mean, they do, but they're not right there. So
Icewind went right across the chicane there. That was a warning and then some for Icewind. Into the hairpin he goes, and Pretorius now about to start his last lap. He has managed to pull out 6 seconds over Copy, but alas, he has more penalties than that. Across the chicane go Pretorius and Icewind. Starting the last lap of the race then. Pretorius, who is going to have a good finish here. In spite of all of those penalties, Icewind now really struggling on those tyres. And Ocean on the back of Tipsy. And we're going to see, at least on track, who's going to win the Battle of Ireland in this one. Ocean on the soft, Tipsy on the hard. So certainly Ocean will fancy his chances of getting past Mr. Tipsy Bob.
oh boy!
Here he goes.
As Ocean Chief goes to the outside of Tipsy Bob, incredible scenes. He's
Oh,
made the
but
pass
has he
up
gone
with
too deep?
57.
Has he gone too deep into turn 2? He's just about gotten away with it. So Ocean with a slightly dicey pass, but he did manage to keep his Alfa Romeo pointing vaguely in the right direction.
I mean, that was just the battle everyone wanted to see. Really.
So here we go then. Down the final straight goes Pretorius and Icewind in his wheel tracks. And these two have driven fantastically. They have driven very quickly, but unfortunately they picked up penalties, which means that they won't win the Canadian Grand Prix. Instead, the winner is going to be someone who started 13th on the grid. Copy crosses the line and wins in Montreal. A fantastic drive. He extends his championship lead even further.
By a lot, yeah. Jensen without points, Julian obviously without points.
Yeah.
So they've got, they're going to face an uphill battle from now
Light Cruiser and Danny with their race long battle cross the line with Light Cruiser getting the better there.
Yeah,
so
but
Ocean just with 3 seconds now weaves across the line and he retires there.
Into the wall goes Ocean Chief. He gets 2 points by the looks of it. Bascodino, I don't think.
Off, I think, yeah.
Yeah, so Ocean with 2 points, and everyone I think who finished this Canadian Grand Prix, 16 starters, 12 finishers, everyone who finished can be at least a little bit proud of themselves, because there was plenty of carnage in this one. Full damage around Montreal is no joke, and certainly the number of cars that we saw fall by the wayside is testament to that. But Copy is the winner. Started 13th on the grid with that weird qualifying session, but made absolutely no mistakes in the race, and takes home all 25 points as a result.
Yeah, if it's gonna come to driver of the day, it is so sad. It's the 6th race in a row.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think there's really much of a discussion here, is there? I think
no, there's not.
Certainly driver of the day is Ocean. No, I mean Copy. So yeah, Copy is our driver of the day.
I'm so sorry, Ocean.
Look at all of those penalties and look at Copy at the top of the standings with absolutely none. A fantastic drive from the Czech driver, and he, as we mentioned, will extend his championship lead. So that's the Canadian Grand Prix, and we're going to see now whether we can talk to somebody. I guess that's gonna roll over by itself. So let's bring up the interview screen, shall we? And let's see who we're going to be able to talk to at the end of the broadcast today. Who wants to talk to us from that race, from Tier 1? We have a few contenders certainly that we'd like to speak to. No warnings at all for Copy, apparently. That is legitimately very, very impressive around Montreal. We certainly want to see that sort of driving. And yeah, no one wants to talk to us. No one enjoyed that race, obviously. Oh no. It's Mr. Icewind who has called himself Bottle Wind, which is, I mean, come on. Such good pace, such a good race, and you got a good result as well.
Yeah. This was before the race. This
Oh,
nickname,
okay.
so.
Oh, fair enough. All right. I thought you'd put it on after that race, but I mean, yeah,
No. I'm fully happy with this race.
Yeah, I mean, you were the fastest car on track pretty much. I mean, for the whole race, we saw it in qualifying, we saw it again in the race. I mean, in terms of pace at least.
I was a little pissed off about the first safety car because it basically put all my good work to. Because I had a pretty good gap to Jensen, which
Yeah.
I probably would have lost with penalties in the end anyway, but whatever. So
Yeah,
I don't know. I'm happy with this. P3 fastest lap, 15
Yeah.
seconds of penalties, which is a little more than I would have liked. But
Well, you certainly
I
weren't the
think,
only one to get lots of penalties.
yeah, I think Copy was the only car on track who didn't get a penalty.
Copy didn't get a warning, which
Oh,
is,
wow.
I mean, just
Why
very
is that?
impressive. Yeah, just really, really impressive.
Yeah, it's was fun out there today. I seem to be the master of these weird qualifying sessions. I got pole into Israel in very similar conditions as well. So
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
you were one of the first out. I don't think you were the first. I think Bailey was the first, and he
I
was
was like fourth out or something.
Yeah. But certainly, I mean, there was only that one lap that you had, and yeah, you nailed it.
Yep, I just basically tried to take it really easy through the chicanes because it's so easy to invalidate.
Yeah.
But it was enough. So
Yeah, absolutely. So, I mean, I actually have to look up where you actually did. You actually finish third? Is that the?
yeah, I was third.
You
Yeah.
finished third, yeah. So it is a podium, and I think you got the fastest lap as well.
Yeah, I did.
So 16 points, which is, I mean, that's a pretty good haul from a
Oh, yeah,
race
for
as
sure.
chaotic as that.
Yeah, and I kind of little bit of a difficult day again because I was out all day and just got back just for the race. So
Okay, well, I
didn't
mean,
have any time to warm up, but I don't know.
well, you
I
didn't
can't
need it.
complain.
You didn't need it by the looks of
Apparently
things. So, I mean, yeah, fantastic drive. How are you feeling about? I mean, we got Monaco tomorrow in 2SRL. How are you feeling about that?
I'm really looking forward to that. I haven't done a single lap of practice yet, but I kind of want to drive Monaco. Hopefully, I get further than last season. So
Yeah, well,
We'll
yeah, I would hope so. Last season was
Crashed lap
you
one.
crashed lap one, so fingers crossed. But yeah, it should be a good one. I'm looking forward to it as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, thanks for talking to us and well done on the podium.
Thank you.
And such good pace from Icewind, who finished third in today's race. Let's talk to Icewind's teammate then, who we saw. In fact, let's bring in Tipsy as well. Yeah, let's bring in Tipsy as well. I think he moved himself in just as I was about to. But yeah, let's bring Tipsy in just for that last lap battle, if nothing else. Ocean, how did that feel to overtake the man himself, Tipsy Bob, on track?
I was talking to him there. He kind of, and I felt it at the time. He kind of didn't fight me too hard for it because he was being smart as per usual.
We don't need to know that. Just,
Yeah.
just pretend like.
I mean, it looked like an epic bat. No, I didn't. Yeah, yeah, fair enough. But
I wish he could have
A
fought
little
me
bit
a
of the
bit
grass on the
more.
right side.
Yeah, what happened there was I was coming up. I knew I was going to overtake him, but I just didn't know which side. And I know the natural line takes you out to the left before the left-hander. You kind of go left and right. And I thought he was going to go left, but then I wasn't sure, so I kind of last second went to the right. And
Yeah.
By that point, my brain was like, "Oh yeah, there's a corner next," and that's why that happened.
Yeah,
I thought he was going to get back past me, but thankfully I was able to keep it on the road.
yeah, you did have a little bit of a tire advantage, just a little bit.
Tiny bit,
which
like 2.5 seconds per
Don't
lap.
tell
something like that. Yeah, something like
Yeah.
that.
It felt
but yeah.
good for a change.
But yeah, battle for I guess he got you on penalties anyway, so it wasn't really the battle
Yeah,
for
but
Ireland.
there's a new guy that's battling out for this Irish title. Is Gary?
Oh,
who's
Gary,
the-
of course. Yeah. So yeah, I guess he won the Battle of Ireland today. So yeah, fair enough.
Yeah, we got work to do. Tipsy.
But yeah, he was fast today. He was very fast.
Well, all I can say is that I cashed in on that race today.
Mm-hmm.
if anyone knows what I'm talking about.
You-
A lot of five-
Oh, yeah, you
There's
did.
a lot of £5 coming my way.
Yeah, well,
What? The bets? Do you gain points?
yeah, I decided not to take you up on that bet, and I'm vindicated in that decision, by what
A
happened.
wise choice, Mr. Tan.
But yeah,
But for me, the race, guys, I don't know. I was. It seems to be the way of it for me that I do good the first stint, and then afterwards I kind of just start dropping off. However, I don't know if you guys seen on the stream on the stream if it showed up, but I noticed I was really slow on the hards, like ridiculously slow. Like Astro passed me on 19 lap mediums, and I was struggling to keep up with them. I was like, why is this possible? My tires are not too bad. I checked my car and I had wing damage practically the entire car
oh
stint,
dear, yeah.
and I didn't
That
even
can
realize
happen.
it. But yeah, I mean, I seen Chief catching me, and I was like, oh god, of all the people I would have passed me, is Mr. Ocean Chief, Jesus. But so I checked behind me, and he goes, the driver behind has got 9-second time penalty. So I laughed, really cracked laughing. So at that point, I said, right, let him come, just come ahead, Chief. But he caught me in that awkward corner, turn one. Normally I would defend it. I didn't defend it, but then he slips it up the inside and nearly panicked. Yeah, and I didn't want to fight him, like he says. I didn't want to fight him because he had 9 seconds and Costa and Astro were catching me, so I just wanted to hold on to that P7. So fair play to Copy. I did the exact same strategy as him, except he's superiorly better than me and got a P1. But yeah, I'm happy. P7, guys. First
Yeah,
20
no,
points.
yeah, really good result. And although he did, he pitted when you pitted, but he put the mediums on, so he did 2 stints of mediums at the end.
So what did he do?
So he started on. Oh, sorry, no, he did medium then soft. So yeah, he started on mediums obviously. So he pitted for mediums when the safety car came out, and then he pitted again, sort of 8 laps from the end for softs.
See,
so, yeah.
It was asking me to do that. You know, do you want to change your strategy to the? Well, it was actually the mediums to soft, and I said no. So
Yeah, I did
why
wonder.
not?
I guess the hards are just are pretty slow around Canada, which means that the 2-stop is a little bit faster.
yeah, which I learned to my misfortune. Well, not even, guys. I don't even consider it a misfortune. I just stayed out of trouble.
Well,
I
you
didn't
still
fight-
had a pretty good race, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I didn't fight anyone today. I didn't see the point in it. I was well into my medium stint whenever Jensen and Icewind caught me. And the rest of the boys were going to catch me too as well. Then the safety car came out, but I wasn't actually going to fight them, and I think they maybe noticed that on track. Wasn't in any interest fighting them. Let them go. Yeah, so overall, safety car helped me, I guess. And I'm going to go and cash in on my 50 quid here.
Yep, drinks are on Tipsy tonight, everyone.
Who's
So
50 quid? I'm so confused. No one got the 5 quid off me. For
All right, Timo,
me move through the hairpin.
without going into detail, I betted a few people that someone would DNF. All right. That's as far as I'm going. Bye.
Okay.
that was Tipsy Bob, ladies and gentlemen, who
Okay.
is going to have a good evening by the sounds of it.
Okay.
The legend.
Sorry, but I have to finish with that. Have you finished with me?
Well, I mean, have you finished with us? I think that's the question.
I would never finish with you guys. I would stay all day.
Oh. Well, I think that's gonna be actually it's not gonna be the end of the stream because I didn't do something that I said I would do a little bit earlier on to Ocean Chief, which is to tell you all about. Is it here? Yeah. Tell you all about this. Here we go.
Don't tell us.
Rivals 8. I figured you guys might be able to keep quiet for the 30 seconds of that trailer. Sadly, I was wrong.
Timo's
13th of March.
What do you expect?
And it is rated extreme, as Bance would say if he was here.
Rated extreme.
Absolutely.
Sorry, Tara, I didn't have the stream up, man, so I didn't.
No, it's all right. That's all right. I should have thought about that. I should have at least told you what I was doing there before I did that. But you know, it's okay.
You live and learn.
It's not
if you get-
it's not like we run a professional operation
Oh,
anyway.
the
So
other
you know,
day
it's fair enough.
ordering is Chinese. That was...
It's not like we've all done this before.
Did you guys catch me pitting twice under the safety car?
No, we
When I
didn't.
saw you had a 4-stop strategy, I was going to mention it.
Ah, okay. What's the story behind that?
I was on mediums in my first stint, or no, I was on soft. I pitted for mediums and then the safety car, so it was going to go on to like a fresh out of mediums. But as I pulled into the pits, it only gave me the option for soft or hard, so I put soft on. And then I went, this is really dumb. Why did I put soft on? So the next lap, I pitted again and put mediums on. So
Okay, well.
safety
I
car
actually
didn't really
also,
work out.
I also spotted that you were 10 seconds off everyone shortly before, like when the safety car was going to come in. And I'm like, wait, did he only gain 10 seconds over the last 2 laps? He is Ocean Chief after all.
Hey,
I got work to do.
Yeah.
Could I deviate slightly? I know it's your stream here, but could I deviate just slightly? I'm probably expecting you to pick up on it anyway, but I'm sure people may well be expecting an Assetto Corsa race today.
Oh yeah, good call. Yeah, we should talk about that.
Probably mention that, but for me, I'll let you guys cover it, you know. But for me, I'm just a bit. I've already expressed on other channels, you know, my desire to do it, and effectively all I'm doing is anybody who is watching is just calling out for them to, you know, take part in the Assetto Corsa leagues. You know, we're trying to drive a bit of input and get the recruitment drive going for the Assetto Corsa, and there are a number of us who are really passionate about it, and if we can just get a fuller grid, it would be a really great league to take up onto the EGL.
Yeah, it really would. They're a lot of fun, those races. They're a lot of fun to do. We've had some really good
especially
racing
when you
this
were
season.
staying on track and didn't get a penalty.
That's
for it.
true. Yeah, that's true. I did manage to stay on track in Imola, although I wasn't as fast as Mr. Tipsy Bob.
I didn't know.
But yeah, certainly, and yeah, Timo didn't stay on track in Imola.
Yeah.
But
I didn't specifically mean you. I just
oh, okay.
meant-
Yeah. No, fair enough.
I was thinking about you in Monza first. Because you said you had fun, and in Monza you definitely did.
Yeah, no, I didn't have fun at Monza, but you know, it's Monza. The only person who has fun at Monza is Milos, so you know, it's I don't think anyone else has fun at Monza. But yeah, but yeah, absolutely. Like we should give the call out far and wide if we can to get people into the Assetto Corsa League. It is a lot of fun. It's just after this race on a Saturday evening.
Probably.
So normally, yeah, and let's try and get people there for the last couple of rounds of the season, because it would be a lot of fun to do. We're not going to do the race this evening because I think only 4 people can do it.
5.
Or 5 people can do it. Oh, is it 6? Okay.
Right. Still not worth it.
But yeah, 6 people is not really enough to be running in a league. So let's get a few more people in if we possibly can, and let's
we should have done
have.
that multi-class event. Whoever had that great idea.
Yeah, we'll have 2 people per class. Yeah, that'd be good.
Epic, so we get multiple
Put me in the
races.
fastest car.
Yeah, we're gonna do LMP1 for Ocean.
Okay.
You can't get much. You can't get much faster than the Formula 1 car, and you still finish last.
That's because everybody else is in the same car, man. They need to be in like go-karts or something.
Yeah, where both of you are beating the other one. It depends whose story you listen to.
No, I never said I beat Tipsy ever.
Oh, you did.
He's definitely got the upper hand. Oh yes.
That huge discussion.
Discussion.
That discussion. Well, one of you set the fastest lap of the day, but the other one set the fastest lap in 2 sessions. And you were arguing over it like 5 days. I enjoyed that. We should do
karting,
kart.
yes, karting.
Yeah,
I'm definitely
yeah.
faster in real life, but
Hold on.
and the stream there.
Hold on, Chief.
Cut the cord.
This argument's gonna rage long into the night. I can feel it.
I still have the sheets of the fastest laps. That would be me. I still keep them in my little locker.
He's got a little shrine to it on his bedside
Oh,
table.
here's Terry talking about shrines. Hang on a minute. I'll tell you who keeps a shrine is Mr. Chief. To see if you just even with the slightest little suggestion, he'll send you a picture of all the awards he's ever won.
Yeah.
I mean, if he won awards, I mean, you know, it's fair enough.
Yeah. Yeah.
You can win awards. Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Chief, can you PM me your shrine of all the awards? I want to see them.
It's actually a real thing.
And please
well,
include all the F1 awards.
I have like 3 medals. One of them is second place. And the trophy I got, I dropped it and it broke.
Oh no.
Can I tell you very
Pressed under
quickly?
pressure.
Can I tell you very quickly, because I don't want to drag this on for you, very quickly how I actually came about to see that picture that he sent. It was actually somebody I know that was a bit of a boaster, and it goes on saying that they're brilliant at everything when they're not. And they did something on cycling. They did some fantastic event on cycling and how fast they were. So there was a bit of argy-bargy, or a bit of banter going backwards and forwards between me and Chief and this other guy. And this other guy posted a picture of, you know, proof of his award on cycling. And Chief just basically says, "Oh, are we having an award off? Check this out." And he posted up the picture of every single award he's ever won. Just crushed the guy. Oh.
Good times. Good times.
All right. Well, I think that's going to do it for the broadcast. It's been a lot of fun.
And for those YouTube fans, tomorrow, to SLR Tier 2 is at Monaco.
Yeah, well, tier 2 and tier 1 both at Monaco tomorrow afternoon. I'm sure it's going to be.
Thunderdome and the not so Thunderdome.
It's going to be completely clean. We're all going to have a good time.
Who
No
will
one's going to
survive?
crash. In opposite world. Yeah, I don't
will
know.
clearly survive.
But yeah, join us for that. Of course, we got the SLR stuff next week, of course, and put the date in the diary, 13th of March for Extreme Rivals 8. And that is going to be coming very soon indeed. So, Timo, with all of these expectant people watching, do you have any final thoughts?
So first of all, that's 2 in a row. You're breaking the pattern. Second of all, I think we should just permanently remake the EGL trailer to like announce it and just put my stupid giggling in the background. So I realized that the mic is not muted. I think we should do that. Like someone, like someone should make a permanent version of that, and we should take that instead. That's my last suggestion. Thanks for watching the stream. Good evening, folks. See ya.
Thanks for watching, folks. See you next time.